Watch me create Confluence documentation 10 times faster using Loom. I'm going to create some documentation around how I like to use a Jira project and how the rest of my team can use it as well. The first step is to go to Loom, and we're going to start recording a new piece of content. I'm going to hit the record a video button on the bottom left, or I'll use the browser extension. I'm going to make sure to include a screen recording with this, and I'll share why later. Once the countdown ends, I will start recording. I'll head straight over to my project, and I'm going to explain a little bit about how I use it. So I like to use the Kanban view to get a general overview of the project. I like to go from left to right. That way I have one holistic view of where things are exactly in the process. I like to use the list view, on the other hand, for context on which tasks I have open and some of the other fields associated with them without actually jumping inside of the work item. And the two different options I have here for this project are tasks, which are just general things that need to be completed, and stories, which are user stories submitted by our customers. And I have to do, concepting, design, testing, and launch as my statuses. And again, we're moving from left to right, creating things within the to-do column typically, and then moving all the way to launch. And that's going to be our completed work item. Now that I have my Loom recorded, that was roughly 60 seconds. I'm going to hit stop, and that'll bring me to this page. This page is where I could edit, where I could pull all the context information, see my transcript, pretty much do anything else. But there's one particular action that I want to look at once this is done loading. And that action is to generate a page. And there's an SOP option right above that, which I can click on. I can scroll through. It actually generates an entire SOP for me. I could use this exact SOP, or I could change it to a how-to guide, which is a little bit more fitting for what I'm looking for, since I'm creating documentation on my Jira project and how I like to use it. So it actually splits up the Loom video and gives me exactly what I need for each timestamp. If I click the generate a page button instead, it essentially takes me to the same place, and then I could go back to how-to guide and click the Generate in Confluence button. I'll select the space that I want this to be generated in. I'll say Engineering Support, and I'll click Create. Now Confluence is setting up the documentation on my behalf, and once it's done, it'll bring me to this page here. Now we have a detailed text guide on exactly what we need to do and how, including the actual looms and the snippets of looms for each of the steps. And that's exactly why I recorded video with myself in it. That way it provides anyone who wants the context of watching the video that option, and anybody who wants to follow the written guide can follow that option instead. Obviously, this saves a ton of time when creating new documentation, especially when it's very, very detailed. And this documentation can be related to anything. It could be related to your products, to your apps, to your internal systems, or anything else. All you have to do is record your process with Loom, click the Generate Confluence button, and then select the type of content you want to generate. And this saves you a ton of time when creating new documentation. So check it out and get unstuck with Loom.